Everything would begin at the moment that Goku would activate the Kaioken against Hit. That's right, when Beerus realized that he wanted to use this technique for himself. Son Goku's power's dangerous. I must not let him increase his power, else he will be able to end my life. The battle of both warriors would continue normally. However, this time, Beerus was much more thoughtful, as was Champa. If the legendary assassin Hit gets much more power, I'm sure his techniques will be lethal to a god. The battle would end with the victory of Monaka. And even the king of everything would arrive to the battlefield when everyone returned to their respective universes and left the warriors on planet Earth. Beerus was much more thoughtful. Mr. Beerus, is something wrong with you? Since Goku activated that technique, I seem very thoughtful. Whis, I know this is going to be scum on my part, but I want to lock Goku in a dimension other than this one. What nonsense are you talking about, Mr. Beerus? Goku's the most powerful warrior of Universe 7. Why do I want to betray him? The power that Goku demonstrated is incredible. If he manages to completely dominate that technique and increase his power, he's capable of defeating me. But Mr. Goku would never make an attempt on your life, Mr. Beerus, so don't worry. No, Whis, you are my angel, and you must do what I tell you. So, in the course of these 24 hours, we will lock Goku in the so-called time room. Whis, not liking the decision of his god, just nodded in an affirmation. However, at that moment, the god Champa would arrive at Beerus' planet. What the hell do you want, Champa? Do you want my warriors to defeat you again? No, Beerus. This time I want you to help me seal the power of Hit or finish him off. His techniques are not lethal for us now, but with his time jump, he's able to escape. So you too. What do you mean, you two? Don't tell me you also plan to do the same with the Saiyan named Goku. That's right, Champa. I'm thinking of sending them to a dimension from which they can never come out, and with the power of the Whis Baculum, time will pass much faster, and they will die. And it seems like a great idea. I also want to send Hit to that dimension. Both gods would begin to plan everything they would to do to get rid of both subjects, and the perfect opportunity was when Goku himself hired Hit to fight with his maximum power. The moment Goku was able to overcome his temporal technique again and hit him with a powerful attack, the gods Champa and Beerus would appear on the battlefield. Well, if it isn't Mr. Beerus and Mr. Champa, did our powers reach their planets? Beerus, without saying any words, would move at an incredible speed, leaving Goku out of combat with a single blow to be with his power very worn out. Hit, to realize this, tried to use the time jump, however, it was too late. That's right, Champa at that moment was able to give him a big blow, leaving him badly injured and, at that time, would be equally out of combat. Both gods at a great speed would head towards the temple of Kami-sama. That is, at that moment, they threw both subjects into the room. Beerus and Champa, with their maximum power and destructive energy, covered the entire room of time. If anyone touches this layer of energy, they will be completely pulverized, so there's no way they can get Goku and Hit out of that place. Vados, it's your turn. Modify the time room. Vados at that moment, with his baculum, would only make that one day out will be 100 years inside. So both warriors would only be able to endure at most 1 day. At that moment, both gods would leave to their planet. Piccolo, who had witnessed everything that had happened, would quickly gather the Dragon Balls. However, he would wait until it gets dark so that nobody suspects anything. Meanwhile, in the time room, time flowing much faster, Goku and Hit had already awakened after a few hours with a severe headache. Ugh, my head hurts a lot. But what the hell happened? Your destroyer god knocked you out, and at that moment, Champa attacked me. I don't know what the hell this place is, and I feel like time's passing so fast. Those bastards, we're in the time room, but apparently they've modified it so that time passes even faster. At that moment, Piccolo's voice would sound in Goku's head. Goku, I've gathered the Dragon Balls. Try to endure. I thank you, Piccolo. At that moment of darkness, Piccolo would summon Shenron. Tell me, what is your wish? I wish that you make the immortal the subjects Goku and Jiren, who are locked in that time room. At that moment, Shenron's eyes would glow, signifying that the wish was granted. At that moment, all the wounds of Goku and Hit had disappeared. That's right, both had become immortal, only being able to die by the power of the destruction of a god. Goku, I've taken care of making you both immortal. Now you have all the time to train and be able to get out of that place.
Thank you, Piccolo. Now you can leave everything in our hands.
Goku and Hit at that moment would observe each other, and without wasting time, they both launched themselves against each other. That's right, both were giving each other excellent hits, but the one who benefited the most was Goku, because he had an infinite Zenkais. Since every time Hit hurt him seriously, he regenerated quickly, and even his power grew in an amazing way, even starting to defeat Hit in a very easy and simple way. However, in a moment of the battle, Hit was able to extend his time jump to 4 seconds. At that moment, Hit was able to meditate to be able to improve all his assassination techniques. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, he was much more relieved. However, he didn't know that the King of Everything was about to organize a tournament in which all the universes would be eliminated. Returning to planet Earth, Trunks from the future had arrived. But this time, Vegeta would be the one who would pick him up, passing him some of his keys so that Trunks would wake up.
Trunks, how are you feeling? Was it Majin Buu who left you in that condition?
No, Father. A man with the same appearance of Goku was responsible, but unlike him, all his clothes were of black color.
Trunks, without finish telling everything that had happened, a portal would be in the sky, so it was black. However, on this occasion, to Vegeta and not to trust Goku, Vegeta would access the Super Saiyan Blue, defeating Black Goku in a few moments, as he had not yet mastered the power of Goku. So in his timeline, Beerus was responsible for creating a time ring more, as he had locked Goku, Trunks, and time being with his friends. Trunks would return to his time. But this time, Vegeta would accompany him, both realizing the presence of Zamasu. That's right, and not being with Black, he was easy to defeat. Now, the problem was his immortality, but by leaving him out of combat, they took him to the past and wanted to test if the words said by his God Destroyer were true. At the moment, they threw Zamasu against the barrier, being disintegrated quickly.
So that damn Beerus really betrayed Kakarot. I vowed to become powerful enough to finish off that simple cat.
Vegeta in the same way would continue with a rigorous training in the gravity machine. After a few months, Beerus and the God Champ had completely forgotten everything that had happened. However, Beerus, taking a short nap, was finally able to observe in his dream as Nozaru was destroying his entire universe and finally ended his life.
What the hell is this? It can't be what I'm thinking.
Beerus at that moment would go to the Oracle Fish to ask him about his destiny.
Oracle Fish, I want you to tell me when I will be defeated by whom.
You God Beerus will be defeated sooner than expected, and it will be by purebred Saiyan.
At that moment, Beerus' whole body felt an incredible shiver, knowing that the only being capable of defeating him would be Goku. However, he was not sure, since all that time, Goku must have died along with him.
No, this is just a simple mistake, but I'll still train to increase my powers.
Beerus, together with Whis, would begin to train to increase the power of their Destroyer God. Returned to the time room, some months had already passed. However, at that time of increasing both their powers, they were still not able to eliminate the seal that both gods had placed on them. Goku, for his part, in all this time had been able to reach the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 3, controlling the energy drain to 100%, while Hit had managed to improve all his killing techniques, so both warriors were becoming killing machines.
Hit, it's been thousands of years in this place, but we still can't get out. Do you think we'll make it someday?
Hit, annoyed at that moment, would deliver a powerful blow to Goku, which would send him flying, and without wasting any time, he'd begin to beat him up by catching Goku off guard.
Of course we'll get out of this miserable place. I'm not going to stay here forever, and I want to end Champa's life.
Goku, much more excited, knowing that between the two of them, they would be able to get out, would begin to train again. However, this time Goku's power didn't grow as before, but after hundreds of years, Goku's tail had grown again. And this time, Goku was the one who created an artificial moon. At the moment of transforming into Ozaru, he would start attacking Hit. However, Hit was much faster, and some months had passed until Goku was able to dominate his whole Ozaru state. This time, his fur was turning into a blue color.
But what's happening to Goku? Is it bad?
Goku, at that moment of a big explosion in all that place, he would appear with a new transformation. That's right, Goku had accessed the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, and the power that overflowed was overwhelming.
I don't know how I was able to obtain all this power, but I wish to push my limits.
You're right, because if we end the lives of both gods, the angels and even the beings that arrived at the end of the tournament will turn against us.
But we'll be extremely powerful warriors that even those guys won't be able to defeat us.
Goku and Hit at that moment would begin to train their new powers, and Hit this time again was overcome by the power of Goku abysmally. At that time, collisions all over the place were being unleashed. So it is, while Hit gave 3 hits to Goku, was able to give 109 hits, being Hit always leaving much more injured than Goku, and after some time of battle, both decided to train separately, as they wanted to improve each of their skills. Meanwhile, was to mention, Vegeta was very thoughtful.
I know that Kakarot's insect head had died in that place, so when it comes out, I won't let its power leave me so far behind. I plan to become very powerful.
The Prince of the Saiyans was undergoing rigorous training to be able to surpass Goku and even defeat Beerus. Goku and Hit were training to be able to take revenge on their gods, but they were not the only ones, since Vegeta was also undergoing a rigorous training to be able to not stay behind Kakarot. And not only him, even Gohan had resumed his training, knowing that the god Beerus had betrayed his father.
I know that right now it's impossible for me to end the life of that wretch, but I swear I'll make him repent.
That's right, Gohan had also started a rigorous training, which Piccolo had joined.
Gohan, I'll join you. Can't believe that Beerus betrayed Goku after we won the tournament against Universe 6 thanks to him.
Mr. Piccolo, I can promise you that I'll humiliate that damn cat in the worst way possible. I'll make him beg for his miserable life.
So some of the warriors wanted to end the life of the god Beerus, while it was the opposite with the god Champa, which had finished with the legendary assassin. So some of the gangsters of Universe 6 could do their thing, however a strong concern was tormenting Vados, which knew that something very bad was about to happen. However, something much worse was about to happen, because when Beerus created another time ring, a new Black from another timeline had reappeared, but this time a much greater power, which they had already defeated.
Mr. Champa, we better train for the tournament that Zeno-sama warned us about, or just train because something very bad's about to happen.
Vados, don't bother, there's nothing to worry about. I'm sure nothing'll happen.
But Mr. Champa...
Vados, I've told you to be quiet. I'll go to sleep.
Champa would go to his palace to sleep for a few years. In an alternate future, Trunks was fleeing from a very similar being to Goku, who had destroyed everything around him, leaving Trunks on the verge of death.
Trunks, you have no way out. You better give up your life so you won't suffer any longer. I won't die without a fight.
Sometime later, Trunks was able to return to the past. However, this had cost the life of his mother Bulma, so that Trunks was able to escape. At the time of reaching the past, everything would occur normally. The only difference to know was that when Black would arrive, Vegeta would be in charge of facing him, leaving him on the verge of death, but the time ring would save him.
That damn Saiyan has an amazing power. He was able to beat me up without even transforming.
Trunks would explain everything that happened in the future, and those who would go to this time would be Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks, which, at the time of arrival, Black would appear in front of them, and without trusting, he had passed to the Super Saiyan Rose.
With this power, I'll finish you dirty mortals.
Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku and Hit had already mastered 100% of their techniques. Even Goku was able to access the Super Saiyan Blue 4 with a Kaioken increased to 500 times, and didn't suffer any wear on his body. That's right, this time had mastered the Kaioken to 100%, making it has no weak points, while it had achieved something unreal. That's right, among all his techniques, the most lethal was the time jump, because this time he was able to stop for about 2 minutes, which was enough time to end the life of any god or warrior, but he still lacked to be at the level of an angel. However, they didn't lack so much, since Goku and Hit were at 97% of the power of an angel, and they didn't know it.
Hit, now that we've started training together again, we need to have combat experience as well so we don't fall into those bastards.
I agree with you, Son Goku. You don't know how much I look forward to the day when those bastards will fall on their knees in front of us.
The day's very near, but we must prepare ourselves much more, since that dwarf, even though he does not fight, If even the gods fear him, he must have great power.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, in that dimension, a beautiful angel, which was also sealed, would be able to feel a tiny key.
What is impossible? In this place, there's no one else but me. Or has anyone else been sealed?
Mikoshin, with some difficulty, would begin to cross some of the similar dimensions because despite being in different dimensions, the dimensional space in which both had been sent was the same. After a few weeks, Mikoshin was able to appear in front of both subjects, which would be surprised to realize that his power was comparable to a guardian angel and continued to increase. Meanwhile, returning to the future, Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue was able to give a beating to Black, while Gohan finally was able to neutralize Zamasu. Black, after that great beating, had been able to obtain a powerful Zenkai, with which he was able to equal Vegeta, having both a very even battle. However, at the moment, the laughter of the Prince of the Saiyans would resound throughout the place.
Ha 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 ha! So that's the power of a copy of a Kakarot's power? No matter what you do, I'll finish you to be able to defeat the real one.
What the hell are you saying? Are you implying that you have much more power?
That's right. I was just using the same power as you so as not to make this battle boring. But you haven't managed to give me an efficient blow, so now I'll finish you off.
Black wouldn't believe what Vegeta was telling him, and at that precise moment, Black would launch an attack. However, at that moment, a purple aura had made a Black retreat, and an amazing power was overflowing from Vegeta's body, which would surprise both of them. Vegeta's power seemed to have no limits. Even the whole Universe 7 had begun to tremble from all the power that Mr. Vegeta was releasing.
So, Mr. Vegeta's also been training. It seems that he doesn't like that bastard betrayed my father either.
At that moment, from a big explosion caused the whole place, Vegeta could be observed, leaving everyone surprised to observe the Prince of the Saiyans with the color of his purple hair very similar to the aura of destruction. Black's body at that moment would begin to feel a sense of terror of which Vegeta had noticed.
Are you afraid? I didn't know that a cheap copy like you was capable of experiencing fear.
Vegeta at that moment, at an incredible speed, began to beat up Black, who was not able to do anything against the Prince of the Saiyans. At that moment, Zamasu was able to get rid of Gohan's blows standing in front of Black.
No matter what you do, I'm immortal, so you don't stand a chance against us. At this moment, I'll show you how even immortal beings like you are capable of dying.
Vegeta at that moment would stretch one of his hands, throwing a tiny sphere of energy, with which he would disintegrate Zamasu. At this moment, Black would be invaded by terror trying to escape. However, it was too late since the Prince of the Saiyans, with much greater speed, would reach him, starting to give him a beating, which Black was no longer able to receive Zenkai's since Vegeta was not allowing him to recover. Sometime later, Vegeta would charge a large sphere of energy.
With this, you won't be part of anything. This is Super Vegeta's attack.
At that moment, a great power came out of the hand of Vegeta, which would make Black disappear. Vegeta would approach Gohan with the intention of making a blow. However, great was his surprise when he realized that Gohan was able to dodge his blow.
Wow, thought your guard was down. Keep training, we should both be able to finish off that damn Beerus.
Of course he can, Mr. Vegeta. I still didn't use all my power.
So, you have much more power. If what Black said's correct, in this place there are no destructive gods, so I want to see your maximum power.
Alright, Mr. Vegeta.
Gohan at that moment would begin to increase his power to the maximum, making the entire planet Earth tremble, and even planets around him would be destroyed. Vegeta at that moment would form a barrier for Trunks, since the pressure would be able to end his life. After a few minutes, we could observe Gohan in his new transformation.
This is my new transformation. I had called it Beast Mode.
At that moment, Vegeta would ask what was the reason for the name of the transformation. However, Gohan's first fist had sent him flying all over planet Earth. Gohan, without finishing his attack there, would fly at a great speed, giving him some excellent blows. Vegeta at that moment would react, being able to connect with a strong kick, but to his surprise, Gohan had been able to stop it.
Damn insect, your power has grown in an amazing way. But that won't be enough to defeat me.
Your power has also increased a lot, Mr. Vegeta, but I won't give up so easily.
The power of both Saiyans was becoming very even. However, Gohan's power would begin to decrease little by little, which Vegeta would take advantage of. to begin to give him some excellent blows, which with the passing of time were damaging Gohan's physique in an amazing way, as Vegeta possessed destructive energy. After a last exchange of blows, Vegeta would win the victory and return to his timeline normally. Meanwhile, in the time room, Mikoshin was watching them very carefully, but at the moment, Goku was able to feel the presence of someone else stopping the battle. Haha, what's wrong with Goku? Can't keep up with me? Goku would communicate telepathically with it. There's someone else in this place. We don't know if he's an enemy or a friend. However, at that moment, the communication would be interrupted by Mikoshin. I can see that you have a great power, and also one of you has a much higher perception to feel the ki of others. At that moment, Goku and Hit were astonished to realize that this woman had been able to interrupt their mental communication. Who are you? And why don't you show yourself? At that moment, Mikoshin would show herself to both warriors, but with her, an astonishing pressure would appear. But it was not enough to make both warriors fall to their knees. Wow, this is amazing! With this pressure, I can even bring a guardian angel to his knees. Mikoshin at that moment launched herself into the attack, giving excellent blows to both of them, which, despite not being subdued by the pressure, their speed had slowed down incredibly. Ouch! That hit me too much! But let's see how you like this! Hit at that moment launched himself into the attack, activated his time jump, improved to 2 minutes and 32 seconds. However, his astonishment was much more when he realized how Mikoshin could even move through space-time. My power goes much further than your time jumping, so you won't be able to do anything against me if that's your best technique. Goku at that moment would access the Super Saiyan Blue 4, combining it with Kaioken increased to 500 times, with which he would have a very even battle against Mikoshin, which was only at 20% of her full power. While they exchanged blows, Mikoshin would think, I must end this battle quickly and explain to them that I have no bad intentions, that the three of us could join forces and get out of this place. Mikoshin would take the battle much more seriously, but not being able to access more than 20% of her power would be a little complicated. Hell, I know you won't die. Receive this! Angelic Rain! At that moment, multiple energy arrows would go through all of Goku's body, which would fall to the ground and return to his base state. Mikoshin would quickly teleport to her, and in the same way, he would leave him out of combat. At that moment, he would hold both of them and take them to their respective beds to rest and recover all their powers. With the power of these two warriors, we won't be able to get out of this place. I want to take revenge on Daishenkin. I don't know about who, but these seals can only be created by an angel or the high priest. The beginning of our revenge begins. The beautiful woman named Mikoshin had made both warriors recover, and it even helped them increase their battle level. Mikoshin would leave the room, starting to train a little after millions of years. After millions of years, I've again the hope to get out of this place, since with only 20% of all my power, I'm not able to do anything. Meanwhile, outside the dimension, Vegeta and Gohan had decided to train together, since it had a teammate that they would have better results. However, at that moment, Piccolo also wanted to train with the both of them.
I also want to train with you and avenge Son Goku. We need more powerful warriors, not simple scum like you. Vegeta, how about we fight? If you can beat me, I'll admit I'm a worm. I think that's great, but to give you a chance against me, I'll give you a little advantage. I'll use only one of my arms and I'll use the Super Saiyan Blue. Shouldn't have trusted me like that, Vegeta.
Piccolo at that moment would take off his clothes, which would always make him have less speed. At that moment, he would go towards Vegeta. Both would begin to exchange blows at an incredible speed. However, one would clearly observe the superiority of Vegeta, which seemed to be just playing with Piccolo.
Is that all? I won't even have to use the Super Saiyan Blue.
Piccolo at that moment would give a big smile and begin to increase his power to the maximum, making the entire Universe 7 shudder with such overwhelming power. At that moment, a large orange light could be seen, Piccolo in his new transformation, which would leave everyone very surprised.
What the hell? How have you been able to get all that power? Like you, Vegeta, I've been training too. Let's see what you think of this.
Piccolo at that moment of a strong blow would make Vegeta fall to the ground. Very sore from the blow that Piccolo had given him, Vegeta, furious, would transform into Super Saiyan, beginning to exchange blows with Piccolo, but this time, the difference was abysmal, since Piccolo was just playing with the Prince of the Saiyans.
What's wrong, Vegeta? Is that all the power you've gained this time? Damn insect. Don't underestimate me.
Vegeta at that moment would access Super Saiyan Blue, beginning to exchange blows with Piccolo. But to everyone's surprise, Piccolo was able to face the Prince of the Saiyans. If Gohan was watching the battle, would be very astonished.
Piccolo's powers increased in an amazing way. I can't believe it.
Vegeta and Piccolo would continue exchanging blows, however their powers are so great that they would even reach Beerus' planet, who was very astonished by the power they gave off.
Hey, Whis, is that Vegeta's power? What kind of training had he had?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, but his power is incredible, and the one that surprises me the most is how Mr. Piccolo has achieved God status.
What Whis said would leave Beerus even more surprised. He was realizing that all the warriors of planet Earth were achieving great powers.
Whis, do you think it'd be a good idea to wipe them all out, so that they don't generate problems in the future?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, because if the words of the king of everything Zeno-sama were true, we'll need powerful warriors for the next tournament.
You're right, Whis. I hadn't thought of that. But how did they get those powers?
Returned to the battlefield, we could see both warriors very wounded. However, the most injured was Vegeta, who was furious to realize that he had the same power as an Namekian. At that very moment, both again had launched an attack. Meanwhile, in the dimension of emptiness, Goku and Hit had already awakened. Feeling a very strange power in their bodies, at the time of leaving, both were amazed to realize how that a woman was training in a very different way to which they were generally accustomed.
Hit, can you see anything?
Not at all, Goku. That woman's power is incredible. But if she didn't want to kill us, why did she attack us like that?
For that, I have the ideal answer.
At that moment, Mikoshin appeared in front of both warriors, who were on guard for any danger.
Don't worry, I won't do anything bad to you, since you are the hope for the multiverse, and even for us to get out of this place.
What do you mean by that? But first of all, how were you able to enter our dimension?
Okay, I will introduce myself. My name is Mikoshin, and I am the Supreme Priestess. That is to say, I'm the mother of all the angels.
At that moment, Goku and Hit were astonished by what Mikoshin said.
But how is this possible for the Mother of Angels to be locked up in a place like this? All this is because my power surpassed by tens of times the power of Daishenkin, and he informed the king of all, Zeno-sama, who wanted to put me against him, and for that reason, I was stripped of my power and locked up in this place.
I have no idea who Daishenkin will be, but I'm sure that we'll be able to overcome his power and get out of this place.
I don't doubt that, but they are having a bad training, because that way, they won't be able to master their ki completely like an angel does.
Then how about training us?
You shouldn't ask me, since that's why I came to this place. That's right, I'm going to train you, and I want to take revenge on Daishenkin.
We want to take revenge on our destroyer gods for locking us up in this miserable place.
So what do you say we start right now?
Without Goku or Hit being able to answer anything, hundreds of lightning bolts would fall on them, which they would be able to dodge some, however, they'd be severely injured.
In my training, you should always keep your guard up, because there are beings that take advantage of the slightest opportunity.
I understand, but I have a question. How are you stripped of your power?
When Zeno-sama found out about my supposed betrayal, he sealed my power with a magical artifact from the realm of the whole, and to recover it, we must destroy it.
Don't worry, we promise to help you recover all your power and be able to take revenge on Daishenkin.
I thank you very much for this, so let's continue with the training.
Mikoshin and both warriors would begin with their furtive training, which was not easy at all. Meanwhile, outside the dimension, Piccolo and Vegeta were at their limit. However, Piccolo, from one moment to another, was able to hit Vegeta, who, furious, had accessed the Ultra Ego. At that moment, Gohan quickly accessed his Beast Mode, putting him in front of Vegeta.
Mr. Vegeta, don't forget that all this is a training. There should be no casualties of training. This is for our father.
Angry Vegeta would turn to his base state, allowing Piccolo to train with them.
Damn worm, you're worthy to train with us. You have incredible power. You'll be able to help great against in the battle that's coming up. I haven't been training for nothing. I know that my power has increased greatly, but I need a companion.
After a few days, we could see how the three warriors were having a battle, in their base states so as not to attract the attention of Beerus, while the trio of warriors were fighting, an even greater power was approaching the planet Earth, because Beerus was not satisfied with all the power that the Z warriors were getting.
Whis, I also want to train because if all those worms unite, they'll be able to defeat me, because I know they won't forgive me for what we did to Goku.
I understand, Mr. Beerus. I will gladly train you again.
Beerus and Whis had begun their training in the same way. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, the great Zeno-sama was very bored, so he'd called Daishinken.
Daishinken, I want to do something. Do you think if we make a tournament like the one in Universe 6 and 7, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Let's do it. As you order, Zeno-sama. At this moment, I'll inform the god Beerus from Universe 7 to face 3 warriors from Universe 9. Understood, Daishinken.
Daishinken would leave for both universes, the decision taken by the King of Everything.
What the hell are we gonna do, Whis? I don't know how to inform the others about this.
Mr. Beerus will have to do it, because if we refuse, I'm sure that the great Zeno-sama would destroy the whole Universe 7.
Beerus and Whis would quickly go to planet Earth to inform them everything that happened to the Z warriors. At the moment they arrived, they could see the look full of hatred towards both deities, but especially towards Beerus.
Beerus, what do you want on planet Earth? I'm the god of destruction. I should not ask permission to which planet I'm going to.
Since you betrayed my father, you're no longer welcome in this place. I know you're upset, but what we have come to inform you is the uttermost importance.
The trio of warriors accepted to listen to what the both deities had said, being surprised that the king of all Zeno-sama wanted a tournament.
But what'll happen if we lose?
I don't know, Mr. Vegeta, but I assure you that it won't be good.
Meanwhile, in the dimension, it had already been 6 years since they had started training with Mikoshin, and this time they had achieved wonderful results. That's right, this time Goku had been able to master the perfect Ultra Instinct, even combining them with their other variants, while Hit had achieved an incredible power, but his time jump had reached the incredible 6 minutes, and with his techniques, this would be even very harmful to Daishinken-sama.
With the power they possess now, I think it's time to get out of this place.
That's right, Mikoshin. We're ready to finish off all those bastards.
Goku and Hit began to increase their power to the maximum, managing to create some space-time fissures. At that moment, both increased their power much more, destroying the seal that both angels had placed in the time room. At that moment, a portal would be created in the whole planet Earth, which would tremble strongly, calling the attention of Beerus and Whis, who were still explaining everything that had happened. All that moment that Goku, Hit, and Mikoshin would leave the place, rumblings all over the place began. Even nearby planets were destroyed. Beerus and Whis felt an amazing pressure. Heading quickly to where they felt this incredible power, however, at the time of arrival, both deities were very surprised to observe Goku and Hit, while Whis would be terrified to observe the Supreme Priestess.
But Mother, how is it possible that she came out of that dimension? So, all my children knew what had happened to me, and none of them were able to do anything for me?
Mr. Beerus, you don't know how much I dreamed about this day.
At that moment, Beerus would quickly communicate with Champa.
Champa, come immediately. Both guys have destroyed the Divine Seal. It'll be better to face them now. It must be weak. Understood, brother. At this moment, I'm headed towards your location.
Vados and Champa, at an astonishing speed, began to head towards planet Earth. Meanwhile, Daishinken had also been able to sense the power of Mikoshin, who had a very serious look on his face.
Is this Mikoshin's power? This can't be happening, but I don't have to worry since his power is still sealed.
Returning to planet Earth, the trio of warriors had arrived to the temple where they were, and they were surprised to see Goku after so long.
I knew you, Kakarot, wouldn't die. You're the most powerful Saiyan I've ever known.
Thank you for trusting me, Vegeta, but now I'll finish with this wretch. We're only waiting for Champa to arrive.
Did these bastards read my mind? Why won't my body stop shaking?
At that moment, Champa and Vados would arrive as well. She was surprised to see her mother.
Champa, after a long time, I'll finish you, but I won't use the time jump because it won't be necessary for someone like you.
At that precise moment, the four warriors began to increase their power to the maximum, beginning to destroy everything around them. That's right, this time the gods had planned to finish with them in a trace. The destruction of all the planets around them was incredible, since lightning, tornadoes, and even lightning was capable of pulverizing any being or destroying everything around them. Hit and Goku were ready to finish with the life of both gods, who, without caring anything, decided to seal them in the time room. At the moment, Goku and Hit would increase their power to the maximum, which would begin to cause havoc. But before it expands to the 12 universes and would be perceived by Daishenkin, Mikoshin would use a great part of his power to seal all the Universe 7.
Now that they'll be able to fight without any difficulty, since no being will be able to sense their powers outside of Universe 7.
At that moment, Whis was very surprised to know that the Supreme Priestess was together with Goku and Vegeta. At that moment, the four warriors had launched an attack. That's right, however, at the moment of colliding the fists, great collisions were created. But the most wounded in each exchange of blows were both gods, who did not believe the incredible power that both warriors had obtained.
What's wrong, Champa? Is that all the power of a god of destruction? Damn you! I swear I'll finish you off.
At that moment, Hit would move at an incredible speed and hit Champa in the face, sending him flying to a planet in Universe 7, being completely destroyed by the impact. At the moment, Goku was in the Ultra Instinct in the same way, and had launched himself against Beerus, which was not able to do anything to defend himself. That's right, the power of Goku had surpassed him by dozens of times. However, Beerus at that moment would increase a large part of all the power, which would make Goku back down.
Da monkey, I will not let you make fun of me. You're nothing compared to a candidate for Supreme God.
At the moment, Beerus would begin to increase his power to the maximum, which, with he was able to access a transformation, which would leave a little surprise to Goku due to the power he was hiding. After a great explosion of destructive energy, Beerus could be seen with his new combat form.
I hope you're ready, Son Goku. This time we'll not seal you. We'll finish you once and for all so you will not be a nuisance in the future. Kakarot, don't be confident. The power of that damn Beerus has increased in an incredible way.
Ha ha! Don't worry, Vegeta. Beerus' power is a mere child compared to my true power.
But in that moment, Beerus, at a surprising speed, had begun to destroy all the planets that were put in front of this with the body of Goku. That's right, Goku seemed to be suffering incredible damage. At the time, would be sent to fly to a planet, completely destroying it. But there would not end the attack of Beerus, because at that moment would throw a large sphere of energy haki.
Die, you damned monkey. You should never have defied the gods. You're a simple scum.
In that instant, a great explosion would be created all over the place. But in the same way, all the haki energy had been disintegrated, and in a purple vapor. That's right, the powerful haki of Beerus had been destroyed. At that moment, an incredible power would be released from the body of Goku, which would be used to cause havoc throughout all the universes.
Beerus, I lowered my power to the minimum to receive some damage from you, but you haven't been able to cause me the slightest damage, you poor worm.
Goku in that moment, with a great blow, sent him to crash to planet Earth, which, despite the pain, would stand up and begin to fight. While on the side of Champa, everything was to his disadvantage, since in each exchange of blows, the legendary assassin was able to hurt him seriously, reaching the point of being on the ground and on the verge of death.
Champa, what are your last words? I always knew I should have killed you. You're the worst creation of the gods. The worst creation of the gods will end you. Don't you think it's ironic?
Hit in that instant with multiple blows in the vital points of Champa had finished with his life. However, at that moment, the powerful Mikoshin would throw a great ray of energy, which had completely disintegrated him.
If it is because of him you were locked in that place, they don't deserve to go to paradise or hell. They should disappear into nothingness. But, Mother, you can't intervene in the matter of mortals. Since I was betrayed by your father, I'm no longer considered to be the divine world, so those rules do not apply to me.
At that moment, Goku would likewise tire of humiliating Beerus, who, even due to all the damage, had returned to a normal state, with which he would begin to beg for his life.
Goku, Hit, I'm really sorry. I swear I'll leave the 12 universes, but don't end my life. I implore you, Goku.
You mustn't have thought now that you would betray us, since you begged you would not do it, but you won't give in, so now we'll finish you off.
Beerus, with his maximum speed, would begin to flee throughout the universe as he did not want to die. However, all this was in vain as Goku would not spare his life. That's right, Goku at that moment would increase a large part of his power, causing an incredible pressure all present.
Authorized Xenozoru! Aradelia Beerus!
At that moment, all the pressure would fall on the body of Beerus. He was not able to continue. On the contrary, he was pulled to the ground as if an incredible gravity would pull him. At the moment, he was able to stand up, but with great difficulty, since the pressure did not allow him to move easily. Goku at that moment would stand in front of Beerus.
Being my friend, my master, you decided to betray me. Goodbye, Beerus.
Goku at that moment would stretch one of his hands, with which he would begin to disintegrate Beerus by using destructive energy. At the moment, Whis and Vados, being angels of the gods, would leave quickly to the kingdom of everything, but it would not matter, because throughout the universe, the voice of Mikoshin would resonate.
No matter where you leave, if you are on the side of Daishaken and the entire divine realm, I'll finish you all off.
Vados, together with Whis, would quickly arrive to the realm of the whole, informing everything to Daishaken-sama, who would be surprised to know that the powerful Mikoshin had returned to be part of the 12 universes.
This is bad. We must not allow it to recover its power, otherwise it'll be able to finish with all of us.
Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Goku, together with Hit, would explain everything to the Z Warriors, who would understand everything that had happened. At that moment, Vegeta would approach Goku.
Kakarot, I want to test your new power. What do you say we have a battle?
Vegeta, it wouldn't seem fair to me. I've trained for thousands of years.
Don't underestimate me, insect. I'm the prince of the Saiyans. Watch this!
Vegeta at that moment began to access the Ultra Ego, releasing an incredible power. Even his power was greater than the power of Beerus that had been released, leaving very surprised Goku, not knowing what transformation was that.
What kind of training did you have? And what transformation is this?
Contemplates the power of the Ultra Ego, the power beyond destruction. I hope you're ready.
Vegeta in that moment, at an incredible speed, had directed a great blow to Goku, which despite being with the Ultra Instinct, had been able to graze his face. At the time, Goku with a great kick would send Vegeta to fly thousands of meters, and in the same way would begin with his great attack. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishaken, together with all the other gods and angels, were planning the perfect plan to finish with the three warriors once and for all, but without the presence of Zeno-sama.
But Daishaken-sama, why can't we ask for help from the king at all? We can't do that, because when he finds out that I betrayed Mikoshin, he'll be able to destroy everything in existence.
However, at that moment, Zeno-sama would come out along with the Guardians.
I don't care that you betrayed that cursed woman. I've finally been able to fully awaken.
Awaken? Who are you?
How are you in Zeno-sama's body?
He's Zeno-sama, but it's his evil side, which doesn't act like a pathetic child. He's the real chosen one.
We must wipe out all the warriors of Universe 7, as I feel out right now that they're fighting. They are comparable to the power of a god.
You're right, Zeno-sama, but how are we going to do it?
It'll be better to put an end to this right now, since I don't want to drag it out much longer.
Gods and angels, I wish that all you will form one being, and that you give me every drop of your power. At that moment, all the gods and angels would opt for a second option, so that the moment, a great pentagram would begin to fill with an incredible power. At the beginning of the power of the entire divine realm, all that power would begin to enter the body of Daishaken, which was increasing its power in an unreal way. That's right, at that instant, thousands of planets would be destroyed by all the universes. Even the power of Daishaken would be felt by all the Universe 7. And at that moment, Goku and Vegeta would stop their battle.
Our battle will have to wait again, since it seems that something much more powerful has appeared. That's the power of that jerk Daishaken, but apparently he's absorbed the power of all the other gods and angels.
Daishaken at that moment had been able to dominate all that incredible power. In a similar way, the King of Everything would begin to access his form of combat with the help of his guardians, so it is the three began to merge, beginning to create a super warrior which released an overwhelming power. After a great explosion throughout the universes could see Zeno-sama.
With his power and together with you, Daishaken, it'll be time to finish with everything that comes in front of us.
That's right, Zeno-sama. It's time to finish with all those insects. At that moment, both warriors began to head towards the Universe 7 at an incredible speed, being so fast that even the space was distorted by the speed. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, all the warriors were planning their defense since they felt as two great powers were approaching towards them.
I plan to face Zeno-sama, since he's the most powerful being. You'll be able to face Daishaken. I'm counting on you. Mikoshin, this time, we'll protect you. We will always train together, but you've never known the limit of my power.
At that moment, a great roar would arrive to the planet Earth. At that moment, a great explosion would occur. That's right, the whole planet Earth had suffered a great damage. Mikoshin, with his great power, had been in charge of using a great part of his power to protect it. Damn Mikoshin. I don't know how the hell you were able to get out of that damn dimension, but you would have stayed there. At least you wouldn't have died.
Right now, I'll show you who you were the one that was killed. Since I plan to finish with you with my own hands, I'll not leave any trace of you.
Mikoshin, with his anger, had launched against himself against Daishaken. At the moment that Zeno-sama was about to interfere in the battle, an amazing power would be felt all over the place. That's right, it was the power of Goku and Hit, which were taking their power to the limit. Goku at that moment would access the Super Saiyan 3, but all his hair was a silver color. At that moment, all would begin to fight the clash of their fists. It would be able to destroy everything around them. However, Gohan, Vegeta, and Piccolo would not be left behind. The trio of warriors would support Mikoshin, and at the moment, Daishaken would begin to overcome little by little. Meanwhile, with Goku and Hit, both warriors had a power comparable to Zeno-sama, which would be surprised of the power that both warriors possessed since it was unreal. At the moment, Zeno-sama would fall to the ground. How the hell do you have all this power? You're mere mortals.
Despite being mere mortals, we will not allow beings who call themselves gods like you to kill us.
Goku and Hit at that moment would continue with their sneak attack, which in each exchange of blows began to defeat the incredible defense of Zeno-sama, which despite surpassing them in power level, did not have the knowledge in battle. At the moment, Hit would use his jump in time, not being enough to stop him, but to drastically reduce his speed.
Your time to die has come! Dragon's Fist!
Goku, with his maximum power, had created his most powerful technique, with which, at that moment, would completely pierce Zeno-sama, which would be completely destroyed. That's right, a Saiyan was able to finish with the king of all. Daishaken, at the time of realizing this, an incredible terror would begin to run through his whole body, which even made him lose his sanity of the battle, which all the warriors would take advantage of, throwing their most powerful combined attack, being able in this same way to end the lives of two of the most powerful beings in the universes and evil. Time after that great battle, Mikoshin would be named the new queen of everything, which would begin to purify the souls of the gods and angels, and at the time would create new planets throughout the universes.
We'll always be at your disposal, Mikoshin-sama. Thank you for everything. Thanks to you, since you appeared, I was able to get out of that dimension, and now I'm the queen of everything.
That's right, Mikoshin had recovered her power, and at the moment of expelling it, she was able to destroy everything around her, becoming the most powerful queen of everything of all times, together with two warriors who protected her. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan's Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing this unintention, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it! Where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Ha 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 ha! Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The Shadows creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos it had sown, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it! The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching?
That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted.
Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you. I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. "This is my chance to end this!" With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the shadow leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. "What happened?"
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
"It was risky, but it worked."
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishenkin discovered that Zeno-sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishenkin, the High Priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishenkin, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno-sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno-sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno-sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mohito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice. "How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno-sama's father could have committed such an act?"
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked,
"And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno-sama?"
That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The hall of the realm of everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno-sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno-sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the hall of the realm of everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the Hall of Everything, Daishinkan, the High Priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishinkan continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the Angel of Champa, raised his hand.
How do you plan for us to move, Daishinkan? We each have responsibilities in our universes.
I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishinkan. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewan, Cognac and Quintella, Matanu and Geen, Whis and Beerus, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thoraxis Nocturn lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewan, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno-sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thoraxis Nocturn. Ewan, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos.
Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans.
The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl, its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Ewan launched destructive beams, while Awamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation.
Ewan, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious. I know, Awamo, but we can't let him destroy Thoraxis Nocturn. We must give our best.
The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Ewan tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive. countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force.
Our conventional methods don't work. Ewan, we need to combine our forces.
I agree, Awamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction. Awamo and Ewan merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Awamo and Ewan struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thoraxis Nocturn was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Awamo and Ewan unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thoraxis Nocturn. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet. It's time to show the true extent of our power, Awamo. The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Awamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature, allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance.
Keep calm, Ewan. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness.
Ewan nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Awamo and the god of destruction Ewan soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Awamo channeled the energy of destruction while Ewan released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Awamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Awamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Awamo and Ewan, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Awamo and Ewan. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thoraxis Nocturn. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Awamo and Ewan, the space around Thoraxis Nocturn was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thoraxis Nocturn was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Ewan, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, angel and god of destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewan. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger. Understood, Awamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thoraxis Nocturn.
The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space. while Awamo and Ewan responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Awamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewan, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this. We must find a way to counteract his ability, to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Awamo?
Awamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Awamo and Ewan, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks. Awamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewan, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way. Explain yourself, Awamo.
Awamo explained his plan to Ewan, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Awamo and Ewan were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewan, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewan nodded and channeled his energy to Awamo, who, in turn, merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain.
The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity.
The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewan's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely. We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Awamo and Ewan had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thoraxis Nocturn. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Ewan's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain his strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thoraxis Nocturn because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thoraxis Nocturn, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Awamo and Ewan, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thoraxis Nocturn, The darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Ewan, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her.
Understood, Owamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity.
The shadow creature descended on Thoraxis Nocturn with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thoraxis Nocturn.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Owamo and Ewan, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thoraxis Nocturn was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible.
Your previous strategy was effective, Owamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power.
Deep in the shadows of Thoraxis Nocturn, the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser.
Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thoraxis Nocturn. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure.
I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thoraxis Nocturn.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable.
We won't let you destroy Thoraxis Nocturn. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against.
Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thoraxis Nocturn, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thoraxis Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Owamo and Ewan, the angels charged with protecting Thoraxis Nocturn, arrived on the battlefield.
The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet.
Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness.
The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness. Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Iwamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewan, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with the unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thoraxis Nocturn from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thoraxis Nocturn. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed. In the dark skies of Thoraxis Nocturn, the stage was transformed into a cosmic battlefield, where divine light and malevolent darkness collided in an epic confrontation. Iwamo and Ewan, the guardians of this planet, displayed their celestial power with a grace and precision that defied description. The glow of the purifying light emanating from Ewan and Iwamo spread across the space, illuminating the shadows that the shadow creature was trying to grasp. Ewan and Iwamo's every move was a ballet of divine energy, as they gracefully dodged the dark attacks and countered with unstoppable force. Iwamo's wings shone with a resplendent light, like stars in the night, as he invoked the very essence of creation to repel the dark forces rising up against him. By his side, Ewan radiated an imposing presence, with his penetrating gaze fixed on the creature as it defying the darkness itself. The shadow creature, on the other hand, was fighting with an impressive ferocity, trying to resist the overwhelming power of Ewan and Iwamo. Their dark attacks were launched like ravenous shadows, seeking to consume the divine light that surrounded them. However, every attack was countered by the impenetrable force of Ewan and Iwamo, who remained firm in their purpose to protect the planet. The clash between light and darkness created a symphony of cosmic energy, with flashes of light and bursts of energy illuminating the firmament. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Your power is formidable, but it cannot resist the purity of creation.
You can't stop me. I'm the very embodiment of darkness.
Darkness can be powerful, but the real strength lies in balance, and we represent that balance. Ewan and Iwamo continued to deploy their energy with amazing precision, creating light barriers that repelled the attacks of the shadow creature. Every movement of Ewan and Iwamo was imbued with a divine elegance and grace, while the creature struggled with a desperate ferocity. Our mission is to protect the harmony of the universe, and that includes protecting this planet from your darkness.
You can't stop me. I'm inevitable.
The shadow creature launched waves of dark energy, but Ewan and Iwamo easily repelled them, maintaining an opposing presence in the midst of battle. Every blow of Ewan and Iwamo resonated with the force of creation, while the creature struggled more and more desperately. The darkness can be a challenge, but our determination's unwavering. We'll not let you destroy this planet. Your power may be formidable, but it cannot equal the eternal light of the universe. The battle continued with Ewan and Iwamo and the shadow creature facing off in an epic clash between light and dark. In the midst of the struggle, Father Zeno silently watched from his kingdom, perceived the magnitude of the conflict. With an imperceptible gesture, he decided to intervene, taking Ewan and Iwamo to a mental plane where they could confront the shadow creature in a terrain beyond the physical. In a flash of dazzling light, Iwamo and Ewan were transported to an ethereal realm, where the laws of the universe twisted and blurred. Where are we, Ewan? We have entered the realm of the mind, a place where reality is molded according to the will of the observer. Here the real battle be fought in the deepest corners of our being. While Iwamo and Ewan were transported to a mental plane by Father Zeno, the shadow creature continued its fierce assault against the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn, Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and Cooler, the most powerful warriors on the planet, rose up against the darkness that threatened to consume their home. The shadow creature, imbued with a dark and malevolent aura, hovered over them with an overwhelming presence. He distorted his energy, enveloping everything around him, tearing reality itself apart, and threatening to plunge the planet into an abyss of chaos.
We won't let you destroy our home, shadow monster.
We, the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn, are not afraid of the dark.
We have faced much greater dangers than you, creature.
We will fight together to protect our world.
The shadow creature launched a powerful dark attack towards the warriors, but they responded with relentless ferocity. Turles, his eyes shining with determination, unleashed a shower of destructive energy, summoning the very essence of nature to channel it in a torrent of energetic attacks. Their powerful attacks cut through the darkness with devastating precision, creating dazzling explosions that lit up the planet's night sky. Bardock, with his fiery ki and indomitable spirit, channeled his energy into a powerful attack. His fists were burning with a searing intensity as he launched a concentrated burst of energy towards the shadow creature, challenging its strength with its own. Bardock's attack resonated with the determination of an invincible warrior, willing to give everything for the protection of his world. Raditz and Cooler, united in battle, joined in a coordinated assault on the shadow creature. With fluid and coordinated movements, they launched bursts of energy from different angles, creating a barrier of attacks that surrounded their enemy. The shadow creature struggled to defend itself against the combined onslaught of the two powerful warriors, but its resistance was challenged by the determination and skill of Raditz and Cooler. Meanwhile, Frieza, with his golden form glowing with a golden aura, was preparing to unleash his full power against the shadow creature. His eyes shone with a cold and calculated determination as he focused his energy on a devastating attack. With a graceful and precise movement, Frieza unleashed a burst of golden energy that swirled with unparalleled destructive power, threatening to envelop the shadow creature in a mantle of fire and destruction. The battle escalated as the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturne bravely faced the darkness that threatened their world. Every blow, every burst of energy echoed through space, creating a spectacle of destruction and determination. Meanwhile, on the mental plane, Awamo and Ewan were engaged in a metaphysical struggle against Father Zeno, an omnipotent entity whose presence radiated an aura of indescribable power. Ewan and Awamo, aware of the gravity of the situation, desperately sought the intervention of Father Zeno to counter the threat of the shadow creature. However, to their surprise, Father Zeno solemnly informed them that they could not intervene directly, since the balance of the universe had to be kept intact even in times of crisis. Awamo and Ewan, although unhappy with Father Zeno's decision, understood the importance of respecting the laws of the cosmos. With determination, they plunged even deeper into the metaphysical struggle, using all their ingenuity and power to find a solution to the crisis unfolding in Thoraxis Nocturne. As a confrontation on the mental plane reached its climax, Awamo and Ewan found themselves face to face with the imposing Father Zeno. His figure radiated an indisputable authority, but also an aura of mystery that aroused restlessness in the Ewan and Awamo. Awamo, with his usual serenity, broke the tense silence that filled the ethereal space. "Father Zeno," he began in a firm but respectful tone, "could it be you that... Were you the one who sent the shadow creatures to destroy the planets?" Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, nodded slowly.
"I did it for the good of the universe,"
he replied calmly. Although his voice resonated with a power that shook Ewan and Awamo, sometimes drastic measures must be taken to preserve the cosmic balance. Ewan, with a flash of indignation in his eyes, could not contain himself anymore. "But that doesn't justify the chaos and destruction you've unleashed!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing with unshakable determination. "There are other ways to restore balance without resorting to violence and darkness." Father Zeno observed the god of destruction and his angel with a penetrating gaze, as if he were evaluating their words and their posture.
"Your compassion is admirable, but sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice a few pieces to save the entire board,"
he said in an enigmatic tone. Awamo and Ewan exchanged determined glances. Although they respected Father Zeno's authority, they knew that they had to follow their own principles and convictions. With courage, they prepared to challenge the omnipotent being in front of them, willing to fight for what they believed was right, even if it meant facing the divinity itself. The air on the mental plane was charged with tension, as Owamo and Ewan prepared to face Father Zeno. Their divine auras collided in a show of titanic forces, as Ewan and Owamo prepared to challenge the supreme being in front of them. Owamo, with his heavenly book in hand, looked at Father Zeno with determination.
Father Zeno, although we respect your authority, we cannot allow you to continue with this destruction,
he stated firmly.
We'll fight for peace and balance in the universe, even if it means standing up to you.
Father Zeno, with an impenetrable calm, nodded in recognition.
Your courage is admirable, but you will not be able to stop me,
he replied calmly.
The fate of the universe is in my hands, and I'll do whatever it takes to preserve its balance.
Without further words, the battle began with a burst of divine energy. Owamo unleashed his celestial power, summoning rays of light that he threw against Father Zeno, while Ewan threw waves of energy with determination. However, Father Zeno showed impressive resilience, deflecting every attack with surprising ease. The fight went on for what seemed like an eternity, with Ewan and Owamo and Father Zeno trading punches and counterpunches in a cosmic dance of power and skill. Every movement was imbued with a supernatural force, while the mental plane trembled under the intensity of his conflict. However, as time passed, Owamo and Ewan began to feel the weight of their opponent. Father Zeno's power was overwhelming, and every blow Ewan and Owamo received weakened them even more. Despite their bravery and determination, it seemed that they were fighting against an impossible-to-defeat force. Owamo, panting from the effort, looked at his companion with concern.
Ewan, we can't go on like this,
he admitted sincerely.
Father Zeno's too powerful for us.
Ewan, though exhausted, nodded determinedly.
I know, Owamo, but we can't give up,
he replied firmly.
We must keep fighting for Thoraxis Nocturn and for all beings in the universe.
With a final effort, Ewan and Owamo gathered their forces to launch a final attack against Father Zeno. However, the Supreme Being easily overcame them, deflecting his power with a contemptuous gesture. Father Zeno looked at Ewan and Owamo with a mixture of admiration and regret.
They're brave, but their struggle has come to an end,
he solemnly declared.
Accept your defeat and let fate take its course.
With a resigned sigh, Owamo and Ewan surrendered to Father Zeno's overwhelming strength. Although they had fought with all their heart and soul, they knew that they could not defeat the Supreme Being in front of them. Father Zeno, with a compassionate look, looked at them benevolently.
Rest now, my brave creations,
he said gently.
His bravery will be remembered throughout the universe.
Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, extended his hand towards the exhausted Ewan and Owamo. In an instant, a powerful burst of cosmic energy emanated from his palm, enveloping Owamo and Ewan in a dazzling radiance. Ewan and Owamo screamed in agony as Father Zeno's energy enveloped them, feeling every fiber of their being torn apart under the relentless power of the Supreme Being. Their bodies, imbued with divine light, were slowly consumed in the maelstrom of energy, fading little by little into the ether of the cosmos. Owamo and Ewan fought with all their might to resist the cataclysm that engulfed them, but it was useless. The power of Father Zeno surpassed them in every respect, and they were soon reduced to mere shadows of their former glory. With the last gasp, Owamo and Ewan exploded, leaving body parts all over the mental space, dissipating into cosmic nothingness while their essence merged with the universe. At that precise moment, we return to the earthly plane, where the fierce battle between the most powerful warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn and the shadow creature was reaching its climax. Bursts of energy and thunderous crashes echoed in the air, while Bardock, in the middle of the combat, glimpsed Owamo and Ewan, who were lying unconscious on the ground, enveloped in a halo of divine light. Surprise and dismay were reflected on the faces of the warriors, who momentarily stopped their frantic struggle upon realizing the situation. Bardock, his eyes wide open, watched in horror as Ewan and Owamo's bodies began to shake, emanating flashes of energy that increased in intensity with each passing second. A tense silence enveloped the battlefield as everyone watched the scene in disbelief. Suddenly, a heart-rending explosion echoed in the air, making the earth and sky tremble. Bardock and the other warriors were thrown back by the force of the explosion, protecting themselves as best as they could from the shockwave that was spreading around them. When the afterglow of the explosion faded, What was left was a smoking crater where Awamo and Ewan once stood. The warriors slowly stood up, stunned by what they had just witnessed, as the shadow creature, now shrouded in an even denser darkness, prepared to lash out again before the protecting warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn. Bardock clenched his fist determinedly, feeling a mixture of sadness and fury burn inside him. He knew that they must continue the fight, not only for the honor of their planet, but also in memory of the brave fallen guardians. With a war cry, the warriors rushed into combat again, determined to avenge the loss of their comrades and protect their home from the darkness that threatened to consume it. After the devastating explosion that killed Awamo and Ewan, the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturn gathered in a circle, still stunned by what had happened. Bardock, with a gloomy look, broke the silence with a grave tone.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
Turtles, frowning, shook his head in disbelief.
I don't know, but we can't let this sacrifice be in vain. We need to get this thing over with once and for all.
Raditz, with his fist clenched, furiously nodded determinedly.
You're right! Awamo and Ewan gave their lives to protect this planet. We cannot disappoint his sacrifice.
Frieza, with his usual impassive expression, spoke in a cold and calculated tone.
The death of Ewan and Awamo should not be in vain. We must unite and concentrate our efforts on defeating that shadow creature.
Cooler, with a serious look, added determinedly,
We are facing an unprecedented threat, but if we fight together, we can overcome it. Let's do it for the honor of Thoraxis Nocturne, for the legacy of our brave comrades.
Bardock nodded solemnly, his jaw tense with determination.
So, are we in agreement? We'll fight together until the end and avenge our fallen.
The warriors nodded in agreement, sharing a look of determination and unity. With their hearts filled with determination, they prepared to face once again the darkness that threatened their home. As the warriors prepared to face the shadow creature again, a fierce determination burned in their hearts. Turtles, feeling the energy of the battle, was the first to unleash his power.
It's time to show them our true power!
With a powerful scream, Turtles wrapped himself in an aura of energy. Her dark hair turned golden and her eyes shone with a dazzling intensity. The energy of the Super Saiyan emanated from his being, infusing strength and determination into his entire being. Raditz, inspired by Turtles' example, followed suit.
It's my turn!
With a burst of energy, Raditz's dark hair bristled, turning golden just like his brother's. His ki increased dramatically, emanating a commanding presence that filled the battlefield. Seeing the transformation of his comrades, Bardock also joined the fray.
I can't stay behind!
With a battle cry, Bardock unleashed all his power. His fiery aura enveloped him in a higher golden glow. His energy increased to astronomical levels, propelling him towards a higher form of his race. Frieza, observing the transformation of the Saiyans, did not want to be left behind.
The time has come to show my true strength.
With a burst of energy, Frieza transformed into his golden form of maximum power similar to 100% full power. His body radiating a golden glow. His power multiplied several times, turning him into an unstoppable force that rivaled the sunlight itself. Cooler, feeling the energy surrounding him, decided to join the fight with all his might.
It's time to unleash my true potential.
With a flash of energy, Cooler transformed into his metallic form, his body glowing with a metallic luster. His stamina and power increased exponentially, making him an invincible force that would defy even the gods. With their transformations complete, the warriors of Thoraxis Nocturne once again faced the shadow creature with renewed determination and a power that eclipsed any darkness. In the skies of Thoraxis Nocturne, the battle continued as the transformed warriors faced off against the shadow creature, a being whose dark power threatened to devour everything in its path. With each of the warriors unleashing their full potential, the cosmos trembled under the force of their epic showdown. The golden aura of Turtles, Raditz, and Bardock, combined with the imposing presence of Frieza and Cooler in their transformed forms, formed a dazzling spectacle in the night sky. Energy flickered around them, lighting up the darkness with golden and silver flashes as they prepared for the final showdown. The shadow creature, sensing his power of his adversaries, emanated a rumbling roar that echoed through the planet. His dark form seemed to twist and distort as he prepared for the final assault.
It's time to end this once and for all!
With a battle cry, Turtles lunged forward. His speed increased by his Super Saiyan form. The shadow creature responded with an onslaught of dark energy, but Turles nimbly dodged it, moving with astonishing speed across the battlefield. Raditz and Bardock followed Turles' lead, attacking with relentless ferocity. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature's attacks were swift and fierce, but the Saiyans deftly dodged them, responding with even more powerful blows.
Father, let's keep the pressure on this thing. We can't let it destroy our home.
I know. We're not going to allow this monster to destroy Thoraxis Nocturn. Our power is more than enough to end it.
That's right. You taught us to fight with courage and determination. We'll not back down before this creature is destroyed.
Take this!
The shadow creature dodged Bardock's attack with agility, launching its counterattack with its sharp claws.
Careful, Father.
Don't worry about me. I'm more than ready for this.
And take this too.
Raditz's attacks hit the shadow creature hard, but it quickly recovered and counterattacked with a surge of dark energy.
Damn, this thing's tougher than I thought.
We can't give up now. Our planet depends on us.
You're right. Let's show you what we're capable of.
The two Saiyans launched into the air attack once more with renewed determination. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature, although resistant, was overcome by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Turles, with his golden hair flowing behind him, launched a quick series of precise punches, each one carrying with it the power of his transformation into Super Saiyan. His movements were fluid and graceful, as if he were dancing around his enemy, dodging every attack with impressive agility.
There's no escape for you, monster. Your darkness can't compete with the power of the Super Saiyan.
With a battle cry, Turles lashed out at the shadow creature, striking with overwhelming force. Every blow resounded in the air, shaking the battlefield with its power. The shadow creature was fighting desperately, but its attack seemed weak compared to Turles' ferocity. Meanwhile, Raditz and Bardock were continuing their assault on the shadow creature. Their attacks were coordinated and precise, each complementing the other in a deadly dance of destruction. The shadow creature found itself increasingly cornered, unable to cope with the combined might of the Saiyans.
Come on, Father. We know we can stop this thing.
I know, Raditz. Let's keep pushing until there's nothing left of this creature.
With renewed determination, the two Saiyans redoubled their efforts, launching a series of devastating attacks against the shadow creature. Each blow echoed in the air, carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. Frieza and Cooler were watching the battle intently from a distance, their cold gazes evaluating every move of the Saiyans and the shadow creature. As the fight intensified, they noticed with increasing concern how the shadow creature began to gain more strength, releasing a dark energy that threatened to destabilize this situation.
It seems that the things are getting more complicated than I expected.
Yes, the shadow creature seems to be gaining ground. If we don't intervene soon, we could face an even more dangerous situation.
With a cold determination, Frieza and Cooler exchanged a glance before heading towards the battlefield. His presence made itself felt immediately. His overbearing aura flooded the area as they prepared to face the shadow creature.
Looks like we need to intervene before things get out of control.
I agree. We cannot allow the shadow creature to wreak more havoc on our planet.
With surprising speed, Frieza and Cooler launched into action, deploying all the power in an effort to contain the shadow creature. His attacks were precise and devastating, each blow carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home. However, the shadow creature was not going to be easily defeated. With a thunderous scream, he split into 4 separate beings, each one darker and more malevolent than the last. The earth trembled under their weight as they advanced towards the warriors, ready to unleash their fury on them.
It seems that this creature has more tricks up its sleeve than we thought.
It doesn't matter. We have our own tricks.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well, guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now, don't forget to leave your powerful like, Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.